Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Thursday. I'm Noe, a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week, my brother Pedro. What's up, dude?
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, creative tech here at Adafruit, and I believe we have some lower thirds down here.
Yeah, sure.
There we go.
Yeah, I got the weird name.
This is the show that features 3D printing, electronics, CAD techniques, hopefully to inspire you guys to get into electronics and 3D printing.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. Yeah, this is the show where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to inspire you guys. So after Pedro finishes his coffee, we're going to take a look at the first thing.
That's right.
Coupon code. Let's take a look at the coupon code.
This show is sponsored by you guys.
That's
Every time you guys buy something in the shop, magic happens.
Magic happens, and of course we want you guys, don't play for price. We have a 10% off coupon today for Independence.
Use that during checkout.
That's right. This weekend is a holiday in the States. 4th of July is a pretty big day, and that's why it's the Independence. Independence from, overlords.
Yeah, so expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight. Does not work on software or gift certificates, but of course you can buy 3D printing machines, filaments, and of course electronics to bring your project to life.
Oh yeah, so be sure to check that out, folks. All right, so we're going to start off with our segments.
That's right. Every week we have a lovely assortment of segments. We start off with What Are You Prototyping?
Yeah, these are new segments.
New segment titles.
Thank you to the person who suggested changing up the cards. Yeah, the gradient doesn't come out so good in YouTube after all the compression. So I went ahead and took some photos around the house, and we'll take a look at them now. So what are you prototyping? Pedro just told us what it was. Then we'll jump out of that and into layer by layer.
That's right. It's when we take a look at some of the CAD techniques that go into some of the projects.
Oh yeah, got some fun one today. Shop talk.
It's when we take a look at some of the news going around in the shop.
That's right, new products and whatnot. We got a Q&A.
That's right, you guys have questions. We'll try to answer these.
Oh yeah, this week we have some questions. Thank you for asking those. Yeah. And then the last, we'll end it off with our 3D printing news.
That's right. It's when we scour the net for some interesting 3D stories brought to you by the community out there, you guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's start it off with what are you prototyping? Last week, we showed some chess. This week, we're going to show you upside down chess. No, sorry about that.
Oh my God, chess is finally almost done.
Finally almost done. It is done. Look at this. This looks great.
Yeah, we just got to do, we just did principal photography on some of the parts. We just got to shoot segments now with the whole chess board all finished now. Right. These took forever because of the tumbling of...
3 weeks now.
Yeah, we were learning, so throw in learning a new software, tumbling everything,
and then just
figuring out
pieces.
You have to model things a different way because during the tumbling things break apart, so we have to model those separately and then tumble it separately and then glue it back together. So with like simple little things like the LED, I think I said last week, this is like 5 pieces just for that. The little Adabot is like 4 pieces, and you have to tumble everything separate, like the ears and all that, because it'll break apart. Yeah. What was I saying before? This was originally going to be wood and metal, but after we did some tumbling tests using stainless steel to do the bronze, you can definitely tell the difference on that. Before though, we were using just regular zinc, and you could see here, this is the bronze. You couldn't really tell much of a difference before we started doing it with stainless steel. And that was one of my concerns, but you can clearly tell now, which is what, especially like in a dark sort of lit area, you're able to tell these a lot more better. And the chessboard you worked on, it's completely modular, so you can like take the pieces off like that.
All right.
And these snap right off, they pop right in, and you can definitely fold this up. So if you're like going, gonna play outside or something like that, you can bring this with you. And some of the detail quality that we're getting out of this, printing at 100 microns, again, like we said before, on the Type A machine. You can really see the cool little detail on the glasses there.
Man, that shine is so shiny.
And we actually have a video of some of the process here that I go through.
Sorry, I should have kept that up while you're talking. Okay, let's take a look at the video of just some of the stuff that takes the behind the scenes of tumbling the stuff. So tell me a little bit about what you have to do.
Okay, so we're using, of course we're going to use some gloves here because we're using brand new screws, so the threads are, as they're tumbling in there, it's turning into like metal powder. And that's actually what's happening here. A lot of people were asking, what's actually happening. And so the metal is actually being impregnated and this as it's sort of doing the abrasion on it at the same time. So we have like this giant fan in the garage to sort of blow any like particles that might be going around there, and I have a mask on as well as gloves to sort of keep
taking
that out.
extra precautions. At first we really weren't. We're just kind of doing it and using paper towels, but because there's just so many pieces and there is a lot of dust starting to accumulate, better play it safe, folks. So let's take a look. So what's cool about this is that you're recording this hands-free. How did you do this?
Yeah, so finally our Google Glass started working. Every time I tried to use it before, it would heat up and freeze up on us. I don't know if there was a new update that came out, but it worked perfect. Yeah, and it's pretty hot in there too. So I'm pretty sure. I'm surprised that it didn't, sort of stall out on me. But you can see the shine that we're getting here. We're just using stainless steel screws and the brass screws for the copper. You see the sort of gold shine that we're getting out of these. Yeah. And we're letting these tumble overnight. We've tried. At first we were trying like 4 to 6 hours, and the shine just wasn't as good as leaving it in there overnight.
I would still recommend to check it every hour just to make sure
in case
parts
it breaks.
don't break apart.
Yeah. But after a couple prints, we knew what would break and what wouldn't. Right. So after you figure that out, that's another thing that takes time too.
So most of these are 3 shells. Is that what ended up?
Actually, no. 2 shells.
2 shells.
The tops is what you have to edit, so you can kind of see the difference between having and you don't have to cut. You don't have to cut. Okay. So this one only, I believe, has 3 shells, and this one has 5. You can clearly see. After it starts tumbling, you can start getting rid of some of the layers. Wow. You can see the infill on that.
What are the numbers? This one's like 2 top, and the other one's 4.
So this one's 3, and this one's 5.
Ah, okay. So be sure to edit that. Most slicers will let you edit the top and bottom shells.
Actually, gonna reprint these just so we can get rid of that. Yeah. And turn that into a nice flat little bottom like that.
Now, as you tumble it, it becomes more prominent, right? The infill.
Oh yeah. So we have other pieces. Yeah, it's another thing too. There was a bunch of pieces that we had to throw away. Some of the printer settings didn't come out as good, like for the tops, like there was holes and things like that. So it's all that trial and error things.
It really is.
Figure out your settings.
And the new screws really helped out. We ended up tossing out some ones that just couldn't get shiny enough because the medium was just sort of done.
They become super dull. We actually have photos of what that looks like on the project video, or the project video and the learning guide that goes with that video. It's the polishing, printing with copper and bronze filament. You can search that on the learn.adafruit.com. You can see the differences there and all the techniques for the screws.
So this is cool. Let's continue here. Really nice that you have the Google Glass set up here. I like that.
Yeah, super shiny on these. And again, we're letting these tumble for about overnight, so a little bit longer too. And here's what all those look together.
Oh wow, there's a big difference there. The super gray and then copper. And the right lighting, they're definitely, even in a more like more Calvin type lighting, they still differentiate, even though it picks up a little bit of the yellow.
Yeah, and we have 2 different types of gloves here. We have the Nitrolite ones for the Ember and the latex ones. Don't want to use the latex one on the Ember one because of the little powder residue that gets left behind. It's fine for these since you can wipe this off. You can't really wipe off residue off of liquid. So,
no, you can't. Not yet.
Just a save on the amount of gloves that we need to purchase.
Yeah. Folks, if anyone's wondering what, this is the Loretone 3A single barrel tumbler, and the capacity is about 90 by 90, I believe. But you can check it out. We got 2 of them because we want to be able to pump out more 2 different materials.
And then we can't cross pollute.
You don't want to do that.
The little material that builds up on the sides of the walls and things like that. You want that to be impregnated into your.
Now, how much does one go for? Like,
so the prices fluctuate on these. I think we got ours for like Amazon? $90, on Amazon, and they went down to like 70, then 80. So
it's somewhere between 70 and 90 bucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so $100.
They're really good. They industrial, so they last a while. They just keep going.
Oh yeah. It's simple. There's no on-off switch. You just plug it in. It starts tumbling. It starts rolling.
That's pretty much the update for the chess set here.
Okay, well,
again, if you want to pick up some copper fill or bronze fill, PLA or
get
printer.
10% off. This stuff's straight from the Netherlands. That's where it's all manufactured. ColorFab's a great company, and I like being a distributor. There's a lot of cool filament coming out of their facilities.
Very cool.
Okay.
All right, next up, let's go ahead and take a look at...
Is it layer by layer time?
I think it's layer by layer time.
Okay, cool. Give me a second.
Got some pretty cool new Fusion 360 tutorials here.
Yeah.
We had a meeting with Tyler and who else? Patrick.
Yeah, Taylor.
Taylor and Patrick from Autodesk, showing us around in Fusion. Other cool stuff that's going to be coming up pretty soon. So,
should I share
look
that,
out for
or
that.
can I talk about my layer by layer? Because
Yeah, no,
I have
continue.
some. What was it?
Just eating up time while you set up.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, well, okay, so yeah, this week I just wanted to do just a look at what I'm working on, really. And a couple weeks ago, I showed you guys a project that we're working on in collaboration with Philip Burgess. He's the father of the NeoPixel library and quite a few other ones too. And so with this project, it's a talking D20, right? So it's a icosahedron shape, and it has 20 sides. And it's typically used in like board games, like Dungeons and Dragons and a couple other things. But the cool thing about this project is that it's going to use a microcontroller, an audio sound effects soundboard, so it actually has an amplifier, a speaker, the microcontroller, and then a gyro, an accelerometer, and one of the cheap ones too, so that when you roll it, it'll tell you what side it's landed on. And it's got some little dingbats too, like you made it too. Good day, sir. It's super really cool.
It's so magical when you first
It really
start,
is.
tossing that thing. It's
so
awesome.
as that gets finished, and the code's already pretty much done, and we'll talk more about it, maybe do a code bubble or something, and talk more about it. But this with this layer by layer, what we want to do is, so the problem is that it's two pieces, and you need to be able to close it together, roll it, and it needs to be able to stay intact. So we're using magnets and little nubs that connect to each other so that so it doesn't fall apart, but you can still take it apart, because you got to be able to take it apart, maybe reprogram and recharge it, right? So we need to have all that stuff in there. And the cool thing about doing it in Fusion 360 is that if I start going too far and merging things, I can always step back, and because I have versioning control, I have a record of everything that I've done, and I can go back and take a look at it. So I already put together like a 3-minute video on our layer by layer playlist of just some of the cool things, some of the details of versioning control. But in this particular session, I just wanted to, what I had to do was add more magnet connectors. So you can see I have one here and then one here. Well, I actually need 2 sets of that to make it a lot stronger, and then one in the middle so that I have the nubs. So I'm using both really in this one. And one thing I want to note, if anybody knows how to tweak edges and faces on a solid in a new document, let me know, because I actually don't know. I created the icosahedron shape in 123D Design because I actually showed you guys, right, a couple weeks ago, how I put it together with sketches, and you project the triangles, and really the magic there is tweaking the edge so that you can get that shape that you want out of a normal shape. I can't seem to figure out how to do it, and I haven't had time to search for how to do it, but if you look here where it says move and you see object, you only have 3 choices. The first one being the components, which is a group of solids. Then you have solids, and then this one is for sketches. The third one, or the fourth one, that I can't seem to find, but I do later in the project, is called tweak faces. So that's where you can literally move a face, a feature, to a merged component. So
did you happen to see like tweak vertex or points in there too?
It just applies it. So an edge and a vertex is treated in the same way, and you have that tweak method, so you can do that. But we'll talk about it here. But right now, I'm just showing you guys that you don't have the option here for whatever reason. I don't know why.
It's got to be the mode or something.
I don't even think it's a mode. I've been looking around. But anyway, let's take a look at the versioning. So here's all the versions I have for the D20. And you can see I'm already at I'm way past 12. This is like 2 days ago of me recording it. I just wanted to record. It's basically a 30-minute screencast cut down to like 6 minutes, and I'm still just going to kind of blaze through it because it's a little boring. But so this is the version that I want to pull up. It's called version 4. This is before I've merged all the standoffs and connectors to the halves. And you can see the halves already have the numbers extruded into them. So really the first thing I want to do is, because I have a side pane, a little browser here with layers and things, I'm able to manage the project a lot better. So I can, instead of spending 10 minutes clicking around things in the canvas, I can just select them all right here and then copy and paste them or move them. So copy and paste works the same way like it does in 123 Design. You copy and paste like you would words. And then setting pivot is, so when you're moving things, you have this little panel, and you were showing us too a couple weeks ago on how you can move stuff. Look at that, all of a sudden it's there now, the thing I was talking about, the tweak faces, so now it's there. But anyway, you can set pivot, and that just gives me a little bit finer way.
Yeah, you're in the sculpt
Oh, so it's in sculpt?
I think so.
Okay, so there you go. I think you've answered my question. You have to be in sculpt mode. That way you can edit the face, right? Okay, well that's cool. So I'm just showing you guys how you can move stuff easily inside of your browser there, inside of Fusion. And you see how it merged it up there. You can easily move stuff around too into different folders as well. So this is kind of boring, right? I'm just moving stuff around and making copies of it, but it's really, really helpful when you have the ability to manage your files, or manage your solids and hide them and put them in different folders and things. So that's how I set that up right there. Yeah, and it's just like here it is going inside of a folder, and then I can name them all. By default, they just kind of get a number and a body, but there it is with me naming it. I just kind of cut to it.
And again, this is why we switched over from 123D, because this would have been
saving time, yeah. A lot of time.
Such a headache to do with all these different little pieces.
Absolutely.
And going back in time.
One cool thing too, so if there's some stuff that's kind of the same, right? So like for this example, I'm deleting faces, so you can just, or features rather, so there's a hole. Instead of having to like fill it, you can just select it and hit the delete button on your keyboard. And just like in 123D, it'll heal that feature for you. Another thing is offsetting faces is about the same. You just have an extra panel interface. And one thing I should have did, instead of doing one by one, is just to select all of them. And you see that the little dialogue says faces, one selected. You can just keep clicking on other features and then do it all in one go.
And the good way to, why you want to do that too, say if you want to come back, you click on that one and it'll remember that all of them were selected before, and you can just hit one, edit them, and all of them, it'll cascade down to all the other edges.
Exactly, and that's a really, really powerful feature. Another thing is you can delete not just holes, but features as well. So you saw me delete that little knob there. Really quick way to come in and just sort of do things. Same thing with pulling and pressing. You can do multiple selections as well, or click and append new ones to it.
Definitely select one, then the others first.
Yeah, I think
you
so.
Select all of them and then hit, pull or extrusion. It'll deselect all of them and just have the last one you selected. You got to reselect them again.
Oops.
So select one, then do your pull or extrusion.
Another thing is to make like quick tweaks and stuff. You can move features within Solid. So like this hole, for example, if I click on move and then I select the move faces, and then I can just move stuff around instead of having to recreate the feature. I can just move it around there. So again, you have to be in, no, you don't have to be in Sculpt. I'm in model now.
Oh.
Anyway, it's weird. I'm still figuring out. So distance stuff and sort of offsets works the same way as it does in 123D. It'll remember it if it has history of it, so that's really cool. So really the rest of the tutorial, I'm just like deleting faces and moving them. Nothing too special. I think I can show you guys real quick how to create a feature real quick. I think that was it right there. So when you want to create a feature, like let's say a cylinder here, it creates a sketch. So you want to make sure your sketch folder is turned on, because I had a problem where it was turned off. I was like, why can't I kill it? You've had that too, yeah. So make sure your visibility is on. So that's about all I want to say about that there. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Like if you were, if you put a negative value, like say -2, it'll automatically change the operation to cut, just like it does in 123D. But you have that nice visual interface here to manage that. So that's pretty much it there. But one thing I want to show you guys is how to optimize hangovers. Yeah, so these are, let's call them floating standoffs, right? Because they're not grounded. They're not
on the side.
They're not a part of the floor where you're printing from, like the base. Mm-hmm. So that's why I call them floating. So my printer, the Rep 2, and quite a few other printers will handle these overhangs okay, and you don't need to do that. But if you have a printer that needs a little bit of extra, like maybe it doesn't have the fan blower or something, maybe that's why. So Phil B was printing this out, and he's like, you know what? A lot of the standoffs are just curling up, and to the point where the head's like crashing in and breaking the print off. So to avoid that, you really want to optimize, your overhang. So here's a way to look at different methods of approaching that, right? So you can apply a fillet or a chamfer to the edge, and I did, and it wouldn't work because there's quite a bit of features, and then at that angle, it wouldn't work. It threw off an error. So what you can do is fillet the outer edges, right? So these little curves edges. And the issue I ran into here is I didn't have enough material to do a proper chamfer. So what I ended up doing was increasing the height, like just pulling the bottom to 5 millimeters, and then adding a 5 millimeter chamfer, and then that created it. But in this session, I go through a couple different methods, so we'll go through them now. So that's pretty much kind of what it looks like, minus the hole and stuff there. You see how it kind of tries to heal that hole. So here's how to use draft. So draft is a way to make custom angles to shape. So what you have to do is you pick your plane, which is like the reference point of where you want to do the draft, and then you pick the edge or the face that you actually want to be drafted. So then you get this little manipulator here. You can see it there, and then that lets you do an angle. I think with other projects this would have worked really well, but with this particular one, the angle, because there's so many faces and so many features, it doesn't work too well. So watch what happens when I try to make it flush with itself. It starts intersecting and protruding out, and you can fix that and whatnot. But you want to experiment with that. So that's just one I wanted to see. It didn't work with this project, but I'm sure it'll work with other projects. One last thing that ended up working for me was using the move. Yeah, see, look, I'm in model mode, and now I have move faces. So I'll click on move faces, and that way, when you roll over stuff, it'll do its best and leave the method to tweak. That's where you can just roll over things and figure out where do I want it. So you see, I clicked on that edge and selected that face, and now when I adjust the degree of it, I get this really nice optimized overhang. And really, with a printer, our Rep 2 can do like 90-degree overhangs, but to optimize it, you don't need exactly 45. You can do 30 or 20, in this case 15. So that works really well. And then you have the option, of course, to pull it to give it more material. So that's really, really handy there. So that's really it. Quite a bit of optimization and experimenting. Yeah.
Make it printer friendly.
Exactly. Yeah. So. There's still a couple edits and things to do. We actually ended up stacking the things on top of each other. So we have like the accelerometer, and then on top of that is the Pro Trinket, and then like the amp. So I'll share with you guys more progress on it. But I just wanted to take a screencast and see what I can pull from it. But I think those are some little points there that people might find interesting or helpful. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you folks want to check out Fusion 360, definitely do. There is, so we want to clarify the thing about a trial, right? Everybody thinks that after the trial you have to pay for it, but it actually continues to be free if you are a maker and or a small business or startup. You just get to use it for free.
After the trial is over, they're going to give you, it gives you an option of whether you're a student or a startup.
Right.
And just pick one of those, and you can continue using the software for free.
That's right.
So that's I know when you hear trial, you automatically think, oh no, it's going to install all this stuff, and once it's over, it's just going to be my system's going to be littered with that.
And my credit card will get charged. You don't have to use your credit card to sign up; it's free. So
so definitely
just
check that out.
Yeah.
If you're looking to sort of up your level, you're coming from 123D or something else, you can import IGS step files.
Yeah, totally. So that brings me to this part here. So Pedro, you just set up your own account because we were actually sharing accounts, and that can lead to conflicts.
We're
and things.
About to start working on on a project where it's multiple people, and before we go into conflicts with that, they set me up with my own account, and this is what it looks like when you get access to a project. Yeah,
so this is the project I shared with Pedro, and it contains mainly everything that we've been working on so far in Fusion. and you just get access to it, and you get this little dashboard. So this is kind of new to Autodesk. Think of it like as a Facebook feed for your project. And what's cool about this is I didn't post these things. They automatically get posted when I save and I do versioning.
So this is definitely the mindset of having multiple designers working on, projects. Say, you're an agency, you're doing a bunch of stuff. You could see sort of your feed of what's actually going on, what's being updated.
I've always wanted this in like Photoshop and stuff, but we haven't been in that career for a while. So it's great to see collaborative tools and a dashboard where you have access to not just your projects, but the activity of a project and the history of it too. So you get a lot of things here. Those are just some details and tags.
You can tag them, you can share.
So really good for sorting and looking through projects. So as you
this
build,
is going to be one of the ways that we actually start sharing our
this is a sneak peek of like how you'll be able to access our components and things. Ideally, you want to just go into Fusion and you already have like the Adafruit pack, like it's like a fritzing library or something, and it's just there for you already. You just pick and choose.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of the parts that we started uploading there.
Yeah.
And I created a bunch of the folders that you see there, and it transferred over beautifully when I set up my own account.
No,
so I was really relieved there. I was like, freaking out, like, oh my God, I have to import everything again and have like duplicates, but it saves.
This is great.
Saves everything like it should. Yeah.
I like that you can do sort of like I have like 8 files that I need to check, and they need to go in a new folder, so you can sort your data in your projects that way. So it's really cool. Some other things you haven't looked at yet, though, like the calendar. I played around with the wikis, just like a way to have internal, documentation or something for your project, and add like videos and things like that too. So there's a lot to mess around here with, but we'll be using it more, and very welcome. Oh look, there's a sneak peek of what pages we're gonna. Very cool.
Yeah, you can actually see all of the projects on the side.
You can see Cappy over there and whatnot. Okay, well, very cool. Again, this is why we're using Fusion 360, because it's helping us so much in our projects, and we definitely recommend it. That's going to be it for our layer by layer segment. The next segment is Shop Talk. Okay, so we got a couple things here in the shop, and really, Pedro, why don't you show me some prints off the new updated Amber printer.
Yeah, so we got our Ember back.
Let me fix that.
Yeah, so we got our Ember back. We got a new tray, new build plate, and of course new resin, and it's working beautifully. So I just wanted to show off the high detail quality off of Phil B's alter ego.
Okay, yeah, so this is Krampus. Phil B, he's able to transform into Krampus at will. So if you're bad, he'll find out.
Go and do the manual focus on that.
Okay. You want the full close? Okay,
yeah,
get as close as
close.
you can.
There we go. So yeah, check out the detail on like his horns. You can see all like the,
and the
ribs and things like that.
They haven't broken off yet. It's great.
And you can see all the small little detail, like the bells that he has there on his side.
Oh wow.
Like the tongue on his face there.
Yeah.
Of course, these are excellent when you diffuse them. I forgot to bring a light to sort of show that off, but yeah, very awesome high quality detail there. And of course, we have Lamar here.
The question is now, are you going to do the whole chess set in Ember? Or?
So
that would take forever.
Originally, we were going to do all of it in the Ember, but you could see that the size for this is pretty small. I mean, it's not teeny tiny, but it is definitely smaller than what these were.
Yeah.
And
is that the max size you can do on the Ember?
You can make maybe you can make the diameter about 10 millimeters more bigger, but it's definitely getting to the size limit there on the small build plate that we have.
Okay.
But yeah, it would take a lot more since when we started modeling these. We modeled it for the FDM, and since we have to have all the pieces separate, we have we have slots in all these that that all stick together and push in together. So we'd have to remodel all that stuff to make it a solid object for the Ember.
So a little bit of extra prep work, post-production work as well. Okay.
And these take about 3 hours to print. This is printed at 25 microns, so super high quality there, and it just takes forever.
So let's talk about the printer, the plate. So last week we talked. Was it a couple weeks ago? We had jam, and it turns out
it was
those
the
things
window.
the windows can get a little bit.
And this is a problem with all the DLP printers, that they're using like a soft, delicate silicone like window that separates the resin from the build plate and everything
from the
else.
light.
From the light, yeah.
Okay.
So after some time, or even when a print fails on that, it keeps like
keeps layers of it?
It keeps solidifying stuff onto the window. So
wow.
after some time, you try to scrape that off, it'll like leave like marks on it, and even once where there was like a scaffolding that broke off, and it turned into like a little sharp,
oh wow,
sort of part, because of the way it separates. The tray is going like that, so it's like
peel.
scraping it. It's like scraping all that delicate silicone off.
Damn.
So yeah, we got a new tray in, new build
got
plate.
a new tray in. How is he? It's super straightforward to like just replace
the only thing
it.
that changed was the leveling procedure now happens right before your print. So you can't hold down the right button for 5 seconds to go into that mode anymore. So it'll just ask you every time you start a new print, which was a little weird since I was out there, trying to hold it down and sat there forever going, why is this not working?
Okay. Well, you quickly figured it out. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a firmware update that everybody should get. If you got an Ember, you probably automatically get it, or how do you?
No, it lets you know once you go into emberprinter.com to set up your print.
Cool.
And you can see.
Process is the same, huh? Every time you look at the machine, you want to wash your hands. So, wash your hands.
Yeah. And like we were saying before, use the Nitrolite gloves there. And the leveling procedure we were just saying right before print. And yeah, we'll try to come up with some more projects. DLP printing.
Yeah, right now it's just a good way to see like these chess pieces like in the best quality that they can be.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see AdaBot in MOSFET.
Oh god, yeah.
Maybe we'll do MOSFET next.
Mm-hmm. That one might be a little bit more easier to put together.
Yeah.
Because it's not as many parts.
Yeah. Were there any extra prep work in the support material? What'd you use to make the support material?
So for Philby, we're using Mesh Mixer to do some of the overhangs, like over on his horns.
Yeah, the horns came out phenomenally well.
Yeah, and then some of the stuff down here that overhangs right there, but that was all done inside Mesh Mixers. A little bit of little struggle there. They had a new update, and just some issues with the way that that you build the support material on there. But
is it the same?
After you get around that, it's all good.
Are the defaults still where you have to increase the tip diameter?
They updated that, actually. I'm very happy about that.
They listened to you?
They listened to someone, yeah. So the default now is at 0.3
that's great.
millimeters for the tip diameter for support material. So very welcome
tip diameter. Here's a tip for your tip diameter. It's now tipped.
But cool, yeah. Got Ember back.
Back in action.
We'll do some more light diffusion projects as Halloween gets closer.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, I think that's it for Shop Talk. Or no. I have one more cool thing.
Are we in the future now?
We're in the future now, and here it is.
About damn time.
Yeah, so we're in the future now. And,
it's halfway over with 2015. Yeah.
Okay, so we got ourselves a hoverboard. This is called the Smart Balancing Scooter.
Yeah, there's so many names going around.
There's so many names for it, and really, we saw
people like
and we saw him, on Vlog talk about it. But before that, we saw people like Brendan from Stress Level Zero and Sam and Nico from Corridor Digital,
which are pretty much our heroes for like filmmaking and visual effects, which is the world that we come from before we got into 3D printing,
post-production, video, photography.
So they were using it as a like sort of a
this is
unlimited
cheaper than a
dolly.
Ronin, folks. Yeah. Okay, a Ronin is...
And for people that know, a Ronin is like a motorized Steadicam for like a DSLR. So it's this heavy duty, it's got all these servos and things that keep your camera steady.
Right.
So that we were like, okay, this is going to be awesome for, doing long shots like that when we do like outside scenes and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I just thought of today was, oh my God, for 3D scanning, because you can just sort of, twist around like that. To get a whole scan, completely stand still. You don't have to have.
Pedro's
like
on it right now, by the way, folks.
If you can't tell, me just spinning around.
He's He's just.
So yeah, imagine doing a scan like that, and I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It only takes about what, like 10 minutes to learn how to balance on it.
Yeah. So learning it was very scary because you feel like I'll never learn this because the most minuscule muscle movements in your feet really control it. But as you start moving around, you just think about going in a circle and somehow you start doing it.
Yeah.
So it becomes very second nature, which is pretty much how a bike is or whatever. Now, I actually have something similar. I have a electric longboard that I got from Evolve, which is a company out of Australia. And that thing cost me $1,400. And it's nowhere near as nimble as this thing.
No way, you can't do like a sharp corner turn at all.
Yeah, I think for camera work, it makes so much more sense. So what we're trying to do is figure out how to mount a GoPro to the thing, or
so that'll
really
be
mount anything to it.
That'll be the project for this.
Probably, yeah.
GoPro mount, maybe even LED lights with
maybe a
control
back
with your
strip.
iWatch or something like that.
Your Apple Watch.
Yeah. So that's some cool projects there, and of course the 3D scanning is.
Sure. Yeah. It's just getting
cool.
Shots around around
yeah,
here
and that's the
or
main
whatever.
reason. Yeah, for an unlimited dolly shot, because I mean setting up tracks and that takes forever.
Now, when it comes to price, Casey really highlighted. You can get this for like $200 at Alibaba, but it's nice that you can also get it at Amazon for not under $400. Right?
Once you include shipping, it was only $50 more. I got it for like $350.
Oh man, that's a good price,
including shipping, and it got here in 3 days. And I can return this if I want. I'm not dealing with like some sketchy dude on Alibaba who's like, oh, give me your PayPal info and I'll send you an invoice. It's like,
thanks. I'll stick with Amazon.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. We saw a review of it, and the dude, it cost him $600 because he bought it in the States, like from a distributor, so you can do that. But if you want to get it from China, it's it's half the price, and
it might take you a while for it to get there, but
right.
Again, I just want the. From Amazon, From Alibaba, I think they were saying like 6 or 8 days.
6 weeks.
Something like that, yeah.
All right, well, this is pretty interesting.
Finally, some sort of, even though it's not a real hoverboard, it's...
we're 2015, we have a hoverboard.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was our hoverboard segment. If you folks have any ideas on what you'd like us see us do with it, please let us know in the comments, and we'll consider those for like a future project or just chatting about for the shop talk.
Yeah, but right now, off the top of our heads, GoPro mounts,
GoPro
LEDs,
mount, lights.
We're putting some LEDs on air control,
and then just using it for shots like stability shots and smooth tracking shots. Pretty cool. Okay. I think that's shop talk, folks. That's going to be it for shop talk.
Let's go ahead and jump into some 3D news.
Let's do Q&A first, since I queued it up. Yeah, let's do Q&A. And then we'll do the news at the end.
Remember, you guys can ask questions on any of the videos, and we have the studio app, so we will eventually see them pop up.
Oh yeah, and please be sure to ask questions on YouTube. We'll gather them up. So this first question is on the Touch Pi project, and it says, "Hey, really nice work, congratulations. Please, may you tell me if there is a possibility to damage the lithium polymer battery when it's packaged between the Raspberry Pi and the Pi TFT display as shown in the video? Now, due to the main chip heat, right? So in my test, the Raspberry Pi with heavy use reaches 53C up to 60C. Now, this is a Raspberry Pi internal temperature sensor, and a standard lithium ion doesn't. A standard battery doesn't recommend to use the battery over 40C. And I really want to reproduce this awesome work. I use this similar work, but with an external cell phone battery and external pocket keyboard. But I'm afraid about the temperatures. Thanks." So this is a really great question, and it really got us concerning too. So we asked Lamar, and she says, the key there is internal temperature sensor. So that's what the Pi reaches up on the chip on the inside. On the outside, it doesn't get nowhere near that. So you're actually really safe. Quite a few of our projects do this method. The Libretto, the Kippa, the Pocket Pi Girl, a couple other ones do that, where the battery is right next to the Pi. But what we do is we use gaffer's tape, we use Ninja Flex pockets, that helps a lot.
Yeah, so I don't. That might have not been in that shot for that, but yeah, we definitely
always wrap it up.
We wrap it up in. Becky does this all the time. She wraps it up in the gaffer's tape.
Yeah, she's who recommended to do that.
So especially with the libretto, where it's sandwiched in between, you don't want any of those pins to sort of poke
That's
it. That's
what we were concerned about, is puncturing it, not really the heat. The heat is not a big deal, but puncturing it is a big deal. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And having that extra layer of protection with whether it's gaffer's tape or NinjaFlex, something's got to be there. Maybe even foam.
And we do have models for the 1200 milliamp and I think the 500 and the 1200 milliamp battery. We have these NinjaFlex pockets where it just goes right inside there. It's easy to take.
Super easy to make, folks. So you can make your own.
I think we have them on our Thingiverse page if you're interested in getting that. Yeah. It's definitely in the Daft Punk helmet.
Oh yeah.
You can get the pockets for there. That's for the 1200 milliamp one, and for the 500 milliamp one, I think it's in the horns.
One of the the horns and the NeoPixel spike thing.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah, the armor.
Yeah, the armor thing.
But yeah, definitely, it shouldn't be a problem. And Phil was also mentioning, there's like 3 million Raspberry Pis out there. We would have heard of something about this if it was such a concern.
Yeah, so you should be just fine. And thanks for the question and your concern, though. And good luck. Let us know how it turns out.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we got this one on the DIY Game Boy. It is it possible to play ROM hacks is it possible to play ROM hacks on this like Pokemon Glazed? A good question. Really, the DIY Game Boy just uses emulators, Linux-based emulators. So if the ROM
properly formatted,
if the ROM is the right format and works in that emulator, it's gonna work on this device because it's just using emulators. So you really have to check, test it out yourself. Maybe you can get one for your desktop and see if it runs. But if it runs on the desktop, chances are it's gonna work on the on Raspberry Pi. Okay. Next question. This is on the Pocket Pi Girl. Is this cheaper? I think they're asking, is this cheaper than like the Super Game Pi or maybe even the original
Or maybe just like one you can find like at a pawn shop or something, like an old school original.
Is this cheaper? Yeah. Well, really, what you can do is I recommend go to the link, the guide on the Adafruit Learning System, and then if you look on the sidebar at the bottom of all the products, you can see that there's a buy button, or buy all button, I think it is. When you click on it, it's going to add everything to the cart. And I don't want to tell you what that price is because it's like $300 or something crazy, because it has printers, filaments, tools, solder, everything, just about everything that you would need. But the cool thing is that you can just delete what you already have or what you don't need, and that'll pinpoint the price and then let you know right off the bat, like how, is this worth investing into or whatever. So that's what you should definitely do. Check it out like that.
I mean, of course, it's going to be cheaper than getting something off the pawn shop, but the parts that you're getting for this, the screen, it's, the color screen and backlight that you have on these new screens, you did not have this on the old ones.
No, and it's like good resolution too. It's not even like that.
And plus, it's a computer you can do whatever with.
Right. It's modular too, so you can reuse the components if you need to. But in the long run, I think it's cheaper. So. Yeah, but check it out, the guide, and click that button like I was saying so you can see. Should I segue into this thing? If you don't want to pay full price, you get 10% off your order.
Yeah, just type in the code Independence during checkout.
Every Wednesdays and Thursdays, by the way.
Wednesday and Thursday you can get discount codes. Doesn't work on software or gift certificates, and it expires at 11:59 p.m.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for the question, and we'll go to the next one now. This one's from Rob. Is there a way to add a regular D-pad instead of a joystick? Now, this is on the Super Game Pi project, which I did use the joystick. This is the first project I used the joystick in, and it's I used it because I haven't used it and I wanted to use it, but a couple folks have already done it. So here's what you can do. If you go to the Super Game Pi Thingiverse page, where it's on Thingiverse, and you click on Remix, you can see quite a few people have already done this, where they changed it to be a regular D-pad. A lot of folks like the D-pad because of the platformers, like Mario and stuff. You really want to have a D-pad.
Yeah, you want to have precise movement when you're jumping from ledge to ledge.
Be a little bit, a little bit dodgy with the joystick, but I think joystick works well with like space and racing games and stuff like that.
But people have already done that. You can get the
works already done.
The solids that they made for that. Actually, you started it off with a D-pad and then you did the joystick. So I think you uploaded both of those models on there.
Oops. Yeah, thanks, Pedro. Thanks for answering that.
Okay,
We did so much work. Okay, next up, this one is on the Libretto project. That was last week's project. The Raspberry Pi has been out for a while now. Why is there no manufactured form factor of these cute little laptops being made or been made? Well, you know what? You've highlighted this is the whole reason why we're doing 3D printing. The idea that you can bypass having to spend months, setting something up, milling something out, injection molding, and making 1,000 of one thing. The benefit of having a 3D printer is that you can do these one-off niche things like our little Libretto and other projects, of course. So really, that's like the whole point, is that you can manufacture at your house with a 3D printer. Yeah. So one of the reasons why we don't is because you can already do this, I think, a lot more cheaper with a printer and a file.
Yeah, people always think about the upfront cost and never think of the sort of future investment of what this can actually do for you.
Right, and it doesn't have to be you that gets the 3D printer. You could just have someone in your local makerspace, or even just your neighbor or whatever that can ship it to you. That they have the printer and they want to do the service. That's the whole point of this, is that and a lot of people can benefit from having the 3D printer, not just you, but other folks. Yeah. So I hope that answered your question, but we don't have any plans to manufacture any one of our cases. That's not our job. Yeah. That would defy 3D printing. We just use 3D printing for prototyping and then we injection mold everything. Nah. Okay, next question is on the DIY camera monitor. Pedro, you want to bring that out? So I tried this HDMI display with a Canon 5D and a Canon 500D, and they both didn't work. You used the Canon 7D, as far as I can see in this tutorial. Could you please describe what kind of settings you changed for making this display work? I cannot imagine that the HDMI communication between the 7D and the 5D should be so different.
Yeah, well, it actually isn't. We use it on a 5D Mark III. Go to the overhead there.
Yeah, let me go to the overhead real quick, guys.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
Okay, so here we go. This is the Canon 5D Mark III.
Is it 7 or 5? Sorry.
I'm going to bust out the 7D just in a minute. So yeah, the 7D Mark III, using 2470 on here, and we're using the latest firmware. It worked on the last firmware.
That's right.
So I don't think it's that.
There's
no settings really that I changed inside here.
How do you update your setting, right? So you have a USB connection, you go to the Canon website and you download the firmware. It really is so straightforward.
You just move over, I forget what the file format is, onto the
onto the
FC card, and it just updates from the menu here. There's no settings difference. I mean, we use both the mirror mode and the non-mirror mode, and it works on both. Yeah. The only caveat here is you might have noticed here, what is 10 pixels or something like that?
Oh yes,
50 pixels, whatever it is. You get a little black bar.
You get that on this because it's so cost effective, right? We don't have a chip that scales the image, so it's pretty much going to do that for a couple of different devices. And if you look at Lamar and someone at the Adafruit factory built one together. Check that video out if you haven't already. We'll link it below. But it shows pretty much the same deal on his DSLR. It did the same thing.
Here's
but
the 7D.
Here's the cool thing is that screen's still a lot bigger than the screen that comes with the 5D.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's a lot bigger. So even though a little bit, maybe 5% is nicked away, you still have a lot in there.
Yeah, and of course you can add a quarter 20 on there.
So now I know why the small HD is smaller than that, but it's full resolution and it's $300.
Oh yeah, you're paying for plus it has an HDMI pass through, so you can so like I was saying, here's a 7D.
Oh cool.
Just have the battery attached to that. It's the only difference on there. And again, I think this is running the new firmware. We have two 7Ds. We have two 7Ds actually. Right. One has the new one has the old one. The
both
firmware
work the same.
And they both work. Yeah. So
now one other thing you might want to check is this cable. This is our second cable that we've gone through.
I think it's our third.
The third cable because the right angle connector here, like a lot of use, wear and tear is really it, and that could be a problem too. It might be your cable.
Yeah.
So those are two options you can take a look at, and we really like this project because it works a lot, and or we use it a lot rather.
Yeah.
And it's not just for your camera, but when we want to test a headless Pi, like all the ones we have behind us, we can just plug that in and find out what the deal is.
Yeah, it's completely
because
portable.
it has a battery in it. You don't have to muck around with too many things attached to it. So really good project, not just for camera, but for your Raspberry Pi. And the thing is, with the Raspberry Pi, it works with a Raspberry Pi. It stores very well. Yeah.
So I don't know how to answer the question. I don't know what the problem could be. It could be the wiring.
We have two options to check out. Of course, the firmware and wire.
Yeah.
It works with ours, and it works with the older firmware, and yeah. All right. Well, let's go back to the question here and close it out. But thank you for the question, though. Sorry you're having problems with it, but hopefully you can find a solution to it and let us know. Yeah. You might want to also ask in the forums too. Maybe somebody knows.
Or maybe there might be something wrong with the.
There could be. You could.
Something.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out. We have a lot of people on the forums dedicated to answering your questions too. So for technical questions, folks, definitely check out the forum. That's really the first place you should go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's going to be it for the for actual Q&A part of the show. So what we'll do now is we're going to do the last section, 3D news. This is where we share projects from the community. Excuse me.
A lot of really cool ones.
Yeah,
Start
so I'll
off
start
with
off
the first
with one here.
story here.
What is the first one? Is it Eggbot?
Yep.
All right.
It's very cool.
It's a little back and forth because I have to queue up the video, which is in another segment. Okay, so here we go.
Okay, so first one is a sphere bot. This is from Jin Choi. He wanted to make a few modifications to the existing Eggbot. So he built his own. First step that he did was redraw everything inside of Fusion 360.
Oh, cool.
He was doing everything inside of SketchUp, but the output for STLs are of a higher fidelity.
I've heard somebody say, I think it was Angus from Maker Muse say, SketchUp produces the most horrible, tessellation I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't know, folks. I haven't used it much, but it's nice to see that it's in Fusion because you
have options to do
parametrically
medium,
modify it.
low, and you have different quality settings, but the default one is medium, and that looks phenomenal from all the prints that we've been getting out so far.
Yeah. But this is great because you have simulations and stuff like that you can do in Fusion.
Yeah, so Jin tried to stay faithful to the original, except a few of the modifications for the screws to fix some of the interface problems he was having. He also added some stepper motors, a servo, and actually used the Adafruit motor shield for this.
Oh, cool.
He had to do some edits for the firmware and the acceleration stepper libraries to get everything to work correctly, but he links everything in the README on the Thingiverse page for all the files.
Okay,
so definitely check this out. I love how teeny tiny and small this little guy is. Here's a very awesome render out of Fusion 360.
Looks
great.
Phenomenal. Yeah, and then here's the actual print or the actual project.
Yeah, this looks very cool.
A couple pieces, yeah? Very cool.
The way this looks.
Yeah, this is really cool, man.
So yeah, he's using the stepper motor, the servos that we have in the shop, and of course the motor shield. Very cool.
Okay, very cool. You guys can build your own Eggbot. Okay,
next up. So past week.
Oh, the Solid Conference. Sure, let me cue that up.
Our very own
go ahead.
Tony DeCola was actually giving a talk on
Adafruit I/O. Yeah, so this is the Internet of Things was really like the main category that everybody was focusing on, and
they had a lot of cool tech here. They had like these cool cars that you can assemble, like even a kid can assemble all these.
Were these 3D printed?
They had of course 3D printing. Form Labs was there. They had like a wall of 3D printers there that were manufacturing. They had like pick and places, and they were like making these cool little wearables that could detect. They could detect. Like the attendees there, like if they had something in common, like if you both like say a designer, it would like glow green. If you're like designer and marketer, it's not going to match up. So it was really cool to have them there printing all of these on the spot there
with some wearables.
Yeah, very cool wearable. So it has little vibration motors. Of course, using Arduino Gemma to run all of this. A little cool little vibration motor in there. And everybody was pretty stoked that this was all possible. You're able to manufacture there on the show floor.
So boosted board.
Very cool, yeah.
Hoverboards.
big
No, very
ups
cool.
To,
Yeah, big
Labs
up
for putting this together.
Yeah, and big ups to Tony too for doing the talk. I'm sure a lot of folks.
Phenomenal job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the recording for that. Definitely post that up.
Yeah, we'll definitely share it if it gets public soon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it right there.
Pretty cool.
Can you find? There's probably a link so you can check out more.
Yeah, it's all linked in the blog. Yeah, it's all in the description to this video.
Okay, cool. And this was by ABC Channel 7, I guess. Okay. All right. Don't sue us for stealing for showing the video. Okay. Next up, this is a cool project. You know me, I love Raspberry Pi projects.
Yeah. So somebody updated the BMO little gaming station to fit a Raspberry Pi 2.
Yeah, so this was inspired by 3derp. He did a Rasbimo, one of the really good or better ones that use a Raspberry Pi and I think a Pi TFT.
Yeah, so this is by Scott Reed, who did some adjustments on there to fit a Raspberry Pi 2. Not a lot of info, but you can see the internal guts of this. Looks like he's soldering straight to the audio jack in there to get sound, nice. And he's using a
big
giant
old LiPo battery, 2200.
Although we have 2500
ones
it's
that
are smaller and flatter than this.
Yeah, so you might want to check that out. And
pretty
here's
cool
the back build. Here.
Looks like we have some side buttons on there.
Are those the L&R buttons?
Looks like it.
That's cool.
So pretty cool build there. You can get the files for this on.
There's some big slots for the heat. There's your, you don't have to worry about blowing up, but definitely want to have some vents. All right, well that's cool. Yeah, if you want to build your own, check it out on Thingiverse. And guys, if you want us to build one, so you can have a good reference for documentation, because that's really what we're doing. Let me know. We really want to know if you guys want us to build this.
A couple requests. Yeah,
I need more.
I think we'll finally get to it.
At a certain point, like over 5 requests, then you have to build it. So, if you really want us to build it, please let me know, and we'll get on that.
Okay, next up we have a pretty cool servo-driven ball and tilt, little geared.
So this is cool. Say it again though. What is this?
So it's a little ball and tilt, little servo doohickey here. So this is created by Fred Blogs. There's a pan and tilt that was created for his robot head, coming soon. Cool. Ooh, can't wait for that one.
Okay.
And he needed something stable, something that had a stable base, that had a little bit more play, it had a stronger tilt than it was out there. So he used a 6mm airsoft balls for the bearings. So it's very cool if you are in need of sort of base components.
I remember you telling me we do carry a kit in the shop, but printing your own out, not only is it customizable, but it's a little bit more sturdy, more durable.
Can be, yeah.
Right?
You can adjust how sturdy you want it to be, or light, or whatnot.
Right, and you have infill and all this cool stuff. So really cool. Yeah.
Really cool project.
Where is it on? Where can we get it?
It's on the Thingiverse page.
Okay,
I think there's a link there. You can get all the files you need to build your own.
Right on. Okay.
Next up, we have a very cool photography project here by Todd.
Okay. This one.
Yeah. So it's a 6x18 pinhole camera. He was really inspired by a Japanese kaiju movie on TV, a sci-fi channel. So this is a rocket-powered flying turtle beast inspired pinhole camera. So this is using film. Very detailed instructions on his Thingiverse page on how to sort of operate this. And check out the image quality that you're getting out of this. This is phenomenal panoramics that you're able to get.
This is crazy. What was the size of the film that it's taking?
6x18, I think. I'm gonna say, I don't know. All the instructions are on there if you want to build one, and links to all the film stock that he was using. But yeah, this is, and a lot more photos that are on there too.
Great.
Both of the parts and of all the photography that he was taking with it.
Almost too much to share, huh? Like,
yeah, you definitely got to check it out if you're interested.
Yeah, well, I love all the details. Great work. This is a
phenomenal
really cool
build. Yeah,
it's a good example of combining the traditional with the new medium, right? So like digital fabrication plus sort of traditional photography.
Yeah.
Because it's all mechanical, right?
Yeah.
And there's no battery here.
He's telling you like how you want to wind it, like not to pull the film and things like that. So
he's got tips on it too.
Yeah, nicely written.
This is awesome, man. Great job. Okay. If you want folks to pick it up, right? Check it out at Thingiverse.com.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, next up,
we have a cool review of the PrinterBot Play
Oh, yes, this
from
is really great.
Tom.
Okay. This is the last video here.
Very
Tom, what's up, Tom?
poetic.
Very poetic, Tom. He did a great review on the printer bot.
Yeah, of course, he always has very awesome reviews.
Very honest.
Very honest, yeah. So this is the PrinterBot Play. It has the build plate of about 100 by 100 by 130. Unfortunately, when they asked if we wanted a stock, we had to decline because a lot of our projects, especially the most popular ones like the Pocket Pi Girl, are not going to fit on there.
Yeah, we think we already have a good solution for folks that want. We got the PrinterBot Simple, which is great, and the PrinterBot Plus, and they're really the two ranges where you want something small and affordable or something a little bit bigger and still affordable. But there's a lot of cool little extra features here.
Yeah, if you want to pause it there.
Sure.
One of the biggest ones I didn't even know until before we went out on the show was the new aluminum extrusion version 2. So as you can see there, they have the little part pinched that goes between the gear and the little bearing there, and that's for NinjaFlex.
So that one, okay.
Yeah, so we finally have a NinjaFlex solution for the printer bots.
There you go.
If you remember, we made like a little plastic little adapter or pilot that made it work for a little bit, and not everybody could print these because you needed ABS. I think our MakerBot was the only thing that could actually print it because of the small details that you needed for it. So nobody was really able to, take advantage of that. And after a couple of uses too, it would break because of how small the little area that I had to work with to make it fit in there.
Right.
So yeah, finally they have. They've been working on this for a while. They milled it themselves there in California. So very awesome. It's about like $55. I think I ordered like 2 of them. So we'll definitely test these out with NinjaFlex. Let you guys know. So it would be nice to be able to print big NinjaFlex things on the printer bots.
Right on.
So definitely check that out. And of course, you can see the whole review for Tom's review. Very honest. He had some still some little bit of gripes there, like how the
wiring.
The wiring still touching the bed and things like that. They did try to improve on some other things. They did improve it though. It
is pretty good.
Yeah.
But definitely check out the full review. You can get a lot of details there. And if you're considering purchasing a PrinterBot Play, definitely check it out. There are quite a few other distributors that are probably carrying it, and you of course get it directly from PrinterBot.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be able to print out like the chess pieces. You were saying.
You could print out all of these pieces, and even the whole board. Even though it's a big board, it's in pieces, and it's you put it together.
It should work. Yeah.
So definitely check out Tom. Check out Tom too check out Tom on his YouTube channel. Lots of great reviews, lots of tips. More on like building your own printer side. Definitely very good resource, Tom. So thank you so much for this one.
Cool.
And
then the last story here. Perfect. We have a very awesome hovercraft.
Oh, the hovercraft. We had a hoverboard, but now we have a hovercraft. Hold on, folks. I got a
3D printed nonetheless, of course.
For some reason, it's really difficult this day. Not that hoverboard, the hovercraft. Here it is. Sorry, folks. It's all a little jumbled over here. But this is a hovercraft. This is an RC hovercraft, 3D printed. Holy wow. Yeah,
so this is by Jan B. It's using 2 motors that are rotating in the opposite direction to minimize on the torque, so you can float on land and water without any problems.
Oh, wow.
So this can carry about 500 grams, and
payload.
The operating time is about 8 to 9 minutes. It's powered by 3 motors and 3 2800 milliamp LiPo batteries.
Wow.
He also installed some lights for nighttime rides and an FPV camera on top of the rotors. Everything is 3D printed except the base and the bicycle tubes.
Oh, the actual
awesome build.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So this is super
what's
fun.
on the bottom, the bicycle tubes.
So instead of building an RC car or an RC a drone or something, you can build a hovercraft.
Yeah.
Too. Don't forget about that.
Yeah. There's different uses for all this stuff. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, this is very awesome build. You can get all the files for this on his Thingiverse page. Very detailed photos and instructions there. Definitely check this out. Very awesome build.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it for the news.
That's it for the show as well. Remember, if you guys want to pick up any filament printers or the electronic goodies that'll bring projects to life, use coupon code Independence for 10% off your order.
Right.
Doesn't work on,
Yep.
Doesn't work on software or gift certificates.
I'm just going to shut up now.
And thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
This show is sponsored by you guys. Every time you buy something,
we get to keep on making. I don't know. Yeah, sorry about the the jumblingness with the slides and stuff. It's just a little bit harder today. What do we do next? Do we do the links?
Shows, yeah. Don't forget, every Wednesday there are a ton of shows going on.
Yeah,
and you
couple
can
links here.
You can get all of the learning guides for all the projects. They launch first on learn.adafruit.com, and then we start making videos for them. So you can get that there first if you want to build whatever prototype project we're working on.
Sure.
Probably get to it there first. Of course, on Google Plus is where you can join the show and tell and hangout every Wednesday. And of course, every Thursday is the 3D printing blog news day on the Adafruit channel. So
that's right. A lot of stories are actually up on there that didn't make it in the show because there's just so much content.
Especially this week, it's the whole day of nothing but 3D printing
every
stories.
hour you'll see a new news piece get posted up there. But it doesn't end with us, folks. Definitely check out the full lineup of shows starting off on Wednesday. Check out Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. It's a live show, and you can ask your questions to Becky, any wearable electronic questions. She always has a new project to debut. She has tips and stuff like that, project workshop.
Crafty techniques
you
can use in your projects.
Yeah, this week's project is super awesome. It is the brain cap. We'll talk more about the 3D printing side of it maybe in the next couple episodes if you want.
Yeah.
But definitely check it out. After that, it is there is a show and tell on Google Plus.
So people have been asking, why don't we have a show and tell? We do. It's on Wednesdays at 7:30.
It's a mix of
ET.
it's a mix of 3D printing and mostly electronic projects and.
It's
some
more
retro
than
tech.
that. You can show off your retro tech,
Maker
crafty
spaces.
maker spaces. So definitely join in if you want to show
Cats.
off your project.
Or your
There's
cat.
always kitty cats.
Yeah, cat in a box. And then after that, right at 8 o'clock, it's Ask an Engineer with Lamar, Lady Ada, and Mr. Lady Ada, Phil Torone, the founders of Adafruit. And you can ask them questions, the full lineup of open source news, happenings, and things like that. So many different things, a full hour, folks. So be sure to check that out. But I think that's going to be it for this show. Again, we'll end the show here if I can figure it out how. There we go. Yeah, it's me. I'm like slow today. But anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. And
I gotta check on that print that finished.
Really?
See you guys.
Are you gonna do it on your hoverboard?
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about what I did with the hoverboard. Anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching. We'll be here next week, and until then, keep on making.
See you guys.
All right, bye, guys.